Welcome back to the Big Gold Podcast, your weekly episodic listening experience where we cover WCW Monday Nitro in its entirety.
That's right, folks. We cover everything from Scott Steiner calling Ric Flair an old-timer to Johnny B. Bad's eyeliner.
Right you are, and we will be your guides through this wrestling odyssey, the voices of tomorrow, the Midwest mouthpieces, Mr. Peace, everyone, and I am Mike Ogden wishing all of you an enjoyable Monday morning.
All right, let's get started and ring the bell.
Okay, so, first watch, I hated this.
Oh my God, this was worse than an allergy sneeze during a long piss.
Oh my God.
This was
when
so
everything
annoying.
stops up on you and you just...
more annoying than your third alarm clock in the morning.
Oh, my 6th and 7th alarm clock in the afternoon, for fuck's sake.
After you get up and you like accidentally hit snooze instead of dismiss and you're walking around still pissed off in the morning and your phone starts going off again like and there's people sleeping in your house and you're just like punching your pocket. That was this episode of Nitro. Imagine that for an hour with Mongo McMichael in your left fucking ear and Eric Bischoff in your right ear. That was this Nitro.
Eric Bischoff would not calm down this whole episode.
This is where the big boys play. He was going off. He was peaking audio on levels that have not been seen in years.
No, it was incredible. Honestly, I wrote down here the only good parts were the Giant smashing Hulk's motorcycle and the short-lived Pillman Flair match. That's what I have written down as the only highlights. Do you disagree?
I don't, except Mongo wearing George Costanza's Gore-Tex jacket. That was a highlight from there's our obligatory Seinfeld reference.
This is our one and only, probably.
You get one per episode unless someone wants to sponsor us. And then every commercial we get, we'll add on another one. We'll start tacking it on. It'll become a thing people hate. Like, yeah, I really liked that podcast until they start, forcing the Seinfeld references all the time.
We just had to make sure that we are the masters of our domain.
Disco Inferno doesn't look like Dave Putty. I don't care what anybody says.
He shouldn't have taken the pin. That's all I'm saying.
Bobby Heenan offering you his pin. Go ahead. Take the pin. I'll put a thumb in your eye. Oh, Mongo's dog looks like he'd rather be watching Raw.
Yeah, I had a...
And Raw's card actually, like, what's messed up is you look at this card and it shouldn't, I guess, be that bad. But on Raw, you've got 1, 2, 3 Kid taking on Razor Ramon. You've got Yokozuna and Owen Hart tag teaming. They're taking on Men on a Mission. So, but still, like, Owen Hart and Yokozuna is one of my favorite tag teams.
See, I never liked Yokozuna in any regard.
I didn't break this root beer bottle and stab you.
Look, we're
not talking, but we're not talking about Raw, so I guess we should get back to Nitro.
No, what we're talking about is when the Giant cuts a cringe-inducing promo at the beginning of Monday Nitro. And before that even happens, Bischoff stupidly states there's an emergency that we must watch. And the emergency is an ambulance backing into the arena to let the Giant out. That's not an emergency. That's somebody is now showing up to the arena.
The emergency is you need to turn the channel.
Yeah. Nobody's on the fucking floor bleeding. Nobody's been attacked.
Oh, no.
It's just like...
Because when Mongo said, get grandma out of the bathroom, because if you're missing this, or if you're not here, you're getting the bum steer, I slipped my wrist. That was the emergency. I heard that. I was just like, no more. This is the final straw. I can't take this.
Yeah. The whole segment was just unbearably stupid. From the lead in with Bischoff to the Giant cutting this promo.
Sullivan didn't want to be there. He's like, talk to the one true immortal. He's like, I don't really want to. He's like, I'm already like an inch away from being out of frame. How about I just like lean down and get out of this goddamn horrible promo?
Yeah, it was. Even Mean Gene really couldn't save us. And he tried his damnedest. But when you got the Giant who's talking like this.
Hulk Hogan, I want to tell you something. Like, I'm okay. One thing, someone needs to save me from Mean Gene. Because I have to see him 7 times the next goddamn episode. I'm not going to be able, like, seriously, I cannot stand all the Mean Gene. Like, I love Mean Gene. It's not his fault. I cannot stand all the promos during this hour of Nitro.
There was a lot.
It was too much.
Yeah.
Too
much talking.
Giant says he's the one true immortal, and Mean Gene Okerlund's going off saying, if your father was still around, he'd be ashamed to see you going on with this man. And it's still going on that they're portraying the Giant as Andre the Giant's son.
Right, which actually I didn't even realize that was the case. I didn't know that was what was going on here.
You were like, is this before or after the big boss man dragged his casket which is my favorite WWE moment of all time. But
Yeah.
the Giant said if his father was alive, he'd be by his side trying to end Hulkamania, and I wholeheartedly agree.
Oh, absolutely.
That or he'd
yeah.
be in a successful acting career, not even wrestling.
Yeah. Do Princess Bride too.
Oh, another fun thing. Remember the first episode of Nitro? We were arguing about if it was good, if it was bad, and you were saying, "Oh, there's no tag team wrestling."
We finally got it.
Guess what, brother?
I was so excited.
Marcus Bagwell is here to answer your thoughts and prayers.
And then when the episode opens, or excuse me, when the first match opened and I saw there was 2 people walking out, I was like, finally, it's week 3 and we're getting a tag team match, which, by the way, for the viewers at home, tag team is my favorite aspect of wrestling.
Oh, I love
tag team wrestling.
But I don't love the American males in any capacity.
It's like, what the fuck?
I don't want to see Scotty Riggs or Marcus Buff Bagwell in a singles match, and I damn sure don't want to see their powers combined.
No, it was, oh my God, though. And they kept showing reactions from every 15-year-old girl in the audience who was like, yeah, I'm okay with this, I guess.
Powers of yawn and circumstance.
But they, then a much better tag team comes out, the Harlem Heat, one of the greatest tag teams.
Out of Earl Robert Eaton. It's supposed to be the Blue Bloods.
Oh, is that? Yeah.
Yeah, they it was supposed to be the Blue Bloods because last night
that's right. Yeah, you're right.
They were taking them on this is the Nitro obviously after the 1995 Fallboro War Games.
I guess we should have mentioned that.
Yeah, just last night the American Males defeated the Nasty Boys and they're getting ready to take on Lord Steven Regal and got Earl Robert Eaton, the Blue Bloods. And then Harlem Heat comes out and just runs roughshed. Mm-hmm. the Houston Roughnecks. We record these obviously like a week late, so if you forgot a week early, but if you're forgetting Jesus God,
it's early
sorry,
for
it's
you.
7 o'clock. It is early for me. If you're just forgot about the XFL team logos and names, there's your reminder that this earth is terrible and the Japanese tsunami back in the day knocked us off our axis and into another dimension.
Oh, the whole earth is fucked up now.
Yeah, but anyway, Harlem Heat comes out, throws him out. Booker T comes out and cuts a pretty cool short promo and says they're bringing the heat to Monday Nitro and puts the belts up right then and there against Marcus Bagwell and Scotty Riggs, who have some of probably the second best entrance music I hear all night. I don't want to ruin who has the best entrance music because I know you hate it. The American Males theme song is what I'm coming out to in my wedding.
You definitely should.
American Males. It's the best Weird Al song that he never recorded.
I just, when they came out and they announced they were putting the titles on the line, I was like, oh, perfect. We get to have a title defense, the day after the pay-per-view. This is going to be sick. And, the champs are going to look stronger than ever.
They looked strong in this match, but then they just look stupid.
Yep. And then the whole thing goes to shit.
And just like on this episode and in this match, and 5-6 years down the line in the future, Booker T is the one shining gem.
Yeah.
I don't know how this man constantly carries this show and this company on his back most of the time.
Yeah.
Effortlessly.
Yeah.
Will you agree Booker T is the greatest WCW wrestler of all time? Pure WCW wrestler?
I don't know if I would agree right off the cuff, but he's certainly in the top
3. Who do you think? Who else are you putting up there?
So
because when I think WCW, I automatically think Booker T.
I think Booker T. I think Sting. And I think
I think Sting.
But I think Sting. I think Diamond Dallas Page.
But I don't think Sting and Diamond Dallas Page is great on the mic. He's proficient in the ring.
He's proficient.
Sting gets me excited in the ring. I never get bored during a Sting match.
No.
He's pretty
unless he's doing 15,000 military presses.
Even that was entertaining. Well, he had Ric Flair. You know what I mean? But I guess I should say I got bored last week when he was taking on VK Wall Street. But even then, he's still me. No, fuck you.
Episode 3, where we rehash episodes 1 and 2.
This is the recap. This is the clip show. My favorite moments from the last 2 episodes. Remember when I called Kevin Sullivan a cuck?
We're just excited that this podcast has gone more than 1 episode and didn't totally suck.
But no, I think Booker T is the icon of WCW. You can say Sting, but for me, it's Booker T because he has the mic skills, the charisma, and definitely the in-ring skills because he is tearing ass out here.
He is. But
he is body slamming people left to right. That gigantic axe kick. Oh my God.
Oh, it was gigantic. It was
knocked
so good.
The dandruff off of Scotty Riggs.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
And he still loses.
And he takes the pinfall.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're trying to keep Stevie Ray strong. But anyway, after all the action, after the big axe kick and everything like that, and he does this massive wheel kick that basically just turns Scotty Riggs' goddamn brain into SpaghettiOs.
Oh, yeah.
His
just instant mush.
jaw gets turned into Dawn dish soap. It is ridiculous. And then Colonel Parker comes out looking like my grandma's boyfriend after a night of lean, clean fucking.
Yeah.
Comes out, has Sherry fall into his arms, and they just start going at it like dogs in heat, sucking each other's face like an Alien sequel.
The whole crowd was into it, but at the same time, you could see they were a little apprehensive. They were like, wait.
And Booker T cares for some reason. He's just watching it like, what the fuck is going on?
It's
and
like
then Marcus Bagwell rolls him up, gets the 1, 2, 3. We have new champions.
I bet you they didn't even tell Booker T. I bet he was like, what the
fuck?
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you.
Oh my God. That was ridiculous. That really pissed me off because up until then, not including the American males, Booker T was starting to put on like Booker T in any, I'm sorry, this is the Booker T hour of love from now on. Like I said, he really a lot of the times carries some of the worst parts of Nitro on his back.
Sure.
And you stopped me the other day as I was leaving and you looked me in the eye and you said, I hope you're prepared to do this for the next 6 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, as long as Booker T is going to be wrestling, I think I'll be fine. Because the next 6 years I'm going to be looking at Booker T as my personal Lord and Savior.
Oh, yeah.
Through most of these next 6 years. Because like I said, in some episodes, he's the only bright, shining spot.
Well, especially once you start getting to the Goldberg years and the NWO years and everything.
Especially the later, Jeff Jarrett, heavy on the Big Papa Pump, the later end years. Booker T still shining gem. Hats off to Booker T.
Absolutely. So moving on to the next segment here, we've got Macho Man pulling out a great Slim Jim commercial.
Oh my God, yes. That was another bright and shiny.
Yeah.
Getting very sleepy. Macho Man misses calling as a hypnotist.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He could have nailed it.
I would have done anything he would have said.
Yeah, between his baseball career and wrestling, he also could have been a hypnotist.
You know, when I would go to church when I was younger, they would talk about, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, satanic, sex cults and heavy metal bands and stuff like that. Macho Man Randy Savage could have told me to do anything and I would have done it. Well, you know what you got to do, brother? You got to take that 12 gauge into your parents' room and go rob that gas station. Oh yeah. Freak out. Dig it. So after that, we get Mean Gene is back.
Yes, he is.
And I'm not trying to disrespect the great Mean Gene. He was a beautiful, lovely man. But my God, how many promos do I have to sit through?
Well, the problem is when the program isn't good, you've got to fall back on the good talent.
So Mean Gene can pull it out. And they're falling back on him and Ric Flair. And this promo was awesome.
It was. I will, however, I will say I wrote down Ric Flair cuts a great promo against Pillman. Water is wet. Nature Boy cuts great promos. We all know that's what's going to happen, but it is a high point of this episode.
Oh, yeah. The story is when Flair and Anderson were having their match last night, Pillman came in and kicked him in the head, which was how Arn picked up the pinfall. Flair is going off and he is talking about, whenever we've had problems in the Four Horsemen, he throws up the Four Horsemen sign, talking about it's the symbol of excellence. We've always solved it in the family. And now you've brought in an outsider into the forbidden land. I'm sorry, this promo kicks ass. And then that's what Ric Flair says he's going to do after he chops down Brian Pillman is kick Arn Anderson's ass.
Yeah.
This was intense. This was short. This was to the point. It was everything the rest of this goddamn episode was not.
and after he kept saying he was going to kick Arn Anderson's ass, you've got Eric Bischoff saying, we need to get the censors out here. Bischoff, it's too late.
It's 1995. He says that almost as many times as Mongo McMichael says that Bobby Heenan has rocks in his head.
Right.
And Bobby Heenan is supposed to save me, and Bobby Heenan is even a little off during this episode.
Yeah.
I talk about VK Wall Street being lethargic. Heenan is pretty lethargic during these first few episodes of Nitro.
He's definitely not picking up the pace.
He's still a legend, but he's not right there. I don't know if you can hear I'm snapping my fingers. That
we
was
can.
Great. He's like, no, I can hear. I promise. The pop will pick it up. He really, I'm not trying to disparage his style or anything about the man. Again, was a legend, but here he's just not picking up the pace. When you've got Eric Bischoff and Mongo McMichael being your commentary team, you need somebody. If you're going to have a 3-man team, that's going to turn up the heat on Monday Nitro, like Booker T said. And Bobby Heenan, he's still great. Bobby Heenan's great in his sleep.
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan could read the back of a damn cough syrup label and it would still be more entertaining than most wrestling commentators nowadays.
Sure.
I'm glad you agree.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think he's the greatest ever, but I've never once said that he wasn't a great commentator.
No.
I've had nothing but praise for him for these past few episodes. However, I don't think I wrote down a single Bobby Heenan quote this week.
This week we did not. I can't think. Really just sounds like he's done being there.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not going to be rude and say, oh, he's there for a paycheck, but he's definitely not as on fire as he was when he was doing Raw and stuff for the WWF.
For sure.
And then they have a bumper for WCW Saturday Night with Sting versus Lord Steven Regal. We should have got this match for this, like the WCW Saturday Night, and they have an interview with Dusty Rhodes. I was more hyped to watch WCW Saturday Night than I would have been to watch Nitro.
I completely agree. And I've always been shit talking on WCW Saturday Night.
I love it.
But
it's so good.
If you're going to have Dusty Rhodes, if you're going to have Steven Regal, who is one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
Like,
I
would tune in.
I would say to me, WCW Saturday Night is just as iconic to me as Nitro. It's just they weren't into Saturday. It was the Monday Night Wars, not the Saturday Night Battle.
Right.
If you can, go back and watch some WCW Saturday Night, live through the nostalgia with me. Speaking of nostalgia, get your grandma out of the bathroom for this one. And he says that again. Yeah. Mongo says, get your grandma out of the bathroom again for a second time, which is great because I have 2 wrists and I can slip both of them. It is Mr. Wonderful with the greatest entrance music of all time, taking on the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Guyliner himself, sparkles and tassels, Johnny B. effing bad.
I was so upset during literally everything of this, from the moment that Mr. Wonderful's music hit and wasted like 3 minutes of my life walking out to the ring.
His intro is great. He comes out with the mirror looking at himself and he's got that
for
music.
3 fucking minutes.
Great heat.
It is great heat because
awesome.
I even wrote that down. I wrote down, this made me so mad, and that's exactly what it needed to do. But I also hated it because it was wasting so much of my fucking time.
And the crowd is just as pissed. But when Johnny B. Bad comes out, he is dang over.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The crowd is cheering like they just announced that it was free blowjobs and a bag of chips night.
Yeah.
At the arena.
This is textbook everything that you want out of a match. You want a heel who is super over as a heel.
It was over. This match had I think probably next to the Flair and Pillman match, the most heat of all night.
Honestly, I think it had more than that because these people were invested, man.
They would die on the cross for Johnny B. Bad. You had people like girls, they were panning over, showing them with like magazines of like the WCW magazine of Johnny B. Bad. It was insane. I always read about how over he was in WCW, or how Mark Miro was so over in WCW with this gimmick. After seeing it, I get it. He has these people eating out of the palm of his hand.
See, but I get that he is, but I don't understand why. I don't understand how.
Because they're in Johnson City, Tennessee.
Oh, right.
And it is 1995.
Yeah.
I forgot it is the September 18th, 1995 episode of Nitro from Johnson City, Tennessee. We're 15 minutes in?
Yeah.
Cool. Just 18. Go back and listen to the episode again. Give us more plays on
I think we just need to stop here and redo all the last 20 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to
Thank you, everybody, once again for stopping in to the Big Gold Podcast.
Something about Scott Steiner.
Yes. Yeah. No, this match was over. It did everything it needed to do. It told a story. Mr. Wonderful is really great at his character. He knows exactly what he needs to be. He knows it. He's got
a fire.
It's fucking great.
And they're putting over Johnny B. Bad had 9 stitches in his left eye after his match with Pillman last night. They're both doing great. I'm not saying this is like Sabu versus Alex Wright, where it's like such a big surprise. I could watch them fight forever. But they had pretty good chemistry.
The chemistry was here. This was match of the night.
There was honestly, I would say this is my match of the night too. Match of the night versus a card that has Ric Flair versus Flying Brian Pillman on it. This is the match of the night. When Johnny B. Bad's getting ready to launch himself out of the ring and Mr. Wonderful has the mirror. Yeah. And he sees him and ducks down.
It's great.
And then B. Bad says, fuck it, and launches himself over. It was great. My God, if Mark Miro would have kept this character, it would have been hard during the later 90s. He should have pushed through and just kept his character and done like a Disco Inferno kind of thing.
Right.
This is probably the third time I brought up Disco Inferno on this
You're
episode.
never going to stop.
It won't be the last.
No.
It won't be the last. It was, he could have kept being over. It was great. It was better than Marvelous Mark, any of his other gimmicks. Johnny B. Bad is over. I totally understand it. I would get crucified for Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah. Even though this is my match of the night, I'm not into these characters the way that you are. I'm not as invested in them, but I appreciate them more than anything in the sake of, for the sake of wrestling, for the sake of what's happening. This didn't do it for me personally in terms of a match, but I really enjoyed what I was watching at the same time.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I know that's really contradicting.
It was better than what I was hearing because Mongo was, and this is another thing about Bonnie the Brain Heenan not really having the fire, just being annoyed. Mongo's like, this is more action than a rooster sees in a hen house. And Heenan's just like, do you have to bring all the barnyard stuff? Talking like my dad. When I'm like 16 at the Thanksgiving table going on like an atheist rant or something like that. It's just my dad done with my shit. Like, do you just have to do this here? We're just trying to have fun for an hour.
I meant to write that down. I didn't. Yeah, Bobby was very much over. Do you have to bring up the barnyard shit? He was so over it.
Well, imagine waking up. Let's not talk about, if it's a pay-per-view. He just spent a good, 2 to 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours with Mongo the night before. Then he's got to wake up, brush his teeth, comb his hair, look himself in the mirror, knowing he's got to spend another, 1 hour at least broadcasting with the man, let alone being there and set up and everything.
Yeah, production meetings and anything else they've got throughout the day.
I would have eaten so many shotgun slugs. It would have been my Slim Fast diet. But, and the officiating to this is just terrible. Let's talk about the ending of this match where Orndorff is on top of Johnny B. Bad, rolls him up. Johnny B. Bad's shoulders are the only thing farther than Johnny B. Bad's shoulders from this mat is Jim Cornette being a moderate Republican. They are so far apart. I could have parked my car in between the mat and Johnny B. Bad's shoulders.
Yeah.
The officiating, the horrible reffing in WCW on Nitro has got to stop. I can't take it.
Something that's been, this is real little, and maybe I'm the only one who's noticing it. The ref hits his hand to the mat the same time his body hits the mat. And I know that sounds like a very silly remark.
I do love the intensity of it.
I do too.
Because he's like, oh shit, and just jumps and starts counting.
The problem is you're listening for the counts and you expect the sound of the body thump onto the canvas, then the 1, the 2, the 3. So you're almost looking for 4 of them. At least I do audibly when I'm watching wrestling.
And see, it'd been cool if they would have, I'm sorry to interrupt you. It would have been cool if they would have brought that into the kind of psychology.
Sure.
Been like, it would have been better than, his shoulders aren't on the mat. You have one job. One job.
And it looked screwy to me, but not even because of the shoulders, but because I was more listening for the fact I only heard 2 because he hits the canvas and he hits his body hits the canvas, his hand hits the canvas at the same time for the 1 count. But I'm expecting 3 more counts after that because it's body, hand.
Don't bullshit me. You're just asleep.
Oh,
you're not even watching. You're just listening. You're like, was that 3 or 4?
Wake up, poker fans! No, I was like, wait, was that a 3 count or a 2 count? Why is he ringing the bell? I couldn't figure out what was going on. When I watched the slow motion, I could see his hand hits the mat at the same time his body hits the mat. I'm like, okay, so they're on it with this, but his shoulders are nowhere near the fucking nowhere near.
It's ridiculous, but
maybe I'm just completely retarded.
No, you're not. I totally get what you're trying to say. It's just you just try and look for. This is the problem with WCW and what we're going to have for the next 6 years. You're trying to find sanity in a realm of unconsciousness. It's like you're not going to find it.
I feel like the lead character in an H.P. Lovecraft novel.
Just
stuck in a world of madness and nothing makes fucking sense.
You're at the mouth of madness, my friend. This is literally your hour of shock therapy every week. 2 hours. Sometimes we have to watch these episodes 2 to 3 times. And when it's like this, it is just atrocious.
So I actually got in touch with Peace during this episode because I had to watch it twice, as he just mentioned. Sometimes we have to watch episodes, once, twice, 3 times even, just to make sure that we've got our notes in order and we got everything that we wanted to get down in case we missed anything. So I watched the episode once through, just like I did last week, just to get my initial opinion on it because I've never seen these before. And it was so bad, I was dreading having to watch it a second time, but I was really grateful. Even though the WWE Network has fucked up a lot of things with their new changes, they've got little thumbnails now at the bottom, and I could just look at the thumbnails and be like, oh, right, that promo was dog shit. oh, right, this match was good, except the ending was kind of abrupt, you know?
That stunk.
That was not very good. So I don't know. I was I'm just really grateful that the WWE Network has that, because it spared me another 45 minutes that I did not want to have to fucking spend.
I think Mongo McMichael's brain buffers more than the WWE Network. Just, I watched the network. I was trying to watch NXT UK last night. So much buffering. I'm on here and just listening to him talk. It's like they're starting to sync up.
Yeah.
Man has become machine.
Like,
this is how the machines become conscious. They're just copying after Mongo McMichael.
his brain is just the Apple
Father!
Beach ball. Just
Oh my God, no. Up next, something that's really 90s, Baywatch. Something even more 90s, Macho Man Randy Savage on Baywatch.
yeah. I hated this. I hated this
You
even being
were
on my TV.
so upset.
I was not having this shit.
Kevin Sullivan was intense though.
I guess he was.
Macho Man is lifting weights on the beach and they're cheering him on. Sullivan comes up and starts choking him with the barbell. And he's like, 5 more, huh? 5 more, huh? Just this small little blonde mulleted balding rodent of a man.
Yeah. The whack ass master.
If Heenan shut up. That's my favorite Juggalo Championship Wrestling gimmick, the whack ass master. If Heenan is the weasel, then Sullivan is the ferret.
Yeah. Oh, that
so he
makes
comes
sense.
up, throws Macho, and actually in a spot that looks scary, throws Macho Man off the bench with the weights come tumbling down on him.
Pretty irresponsible.
And throws sand in his face. And then Ric Flair shows up and saves him and takes him away. Or gets Sullivan to get the hell out of there with some other lifeguards. So then now we have another Mean Gene Okerlund promo, but this time with the Macho Man Randy Savage. And guess what? Another in-ring promo with... I talk so much crap about the promos, but they're some of the only bright spots.
Oh, yeah.
This promo was great.
It was.
Everyone, I really didn't want to see Lex Luger come out and talk more. Just also because he says again, I'm tired of playing with kids.
For the third
Lex,
week in a row.
Stop it.
I'm pretty sure that at this point, you're supposed to call child services. If you've seen this 3 times, you're supposed to do something.
Least.
Real quick, before we go on with this, I wanted to mention my worst dressed and best dressed, because those are both in tandem right here. Worst dressed was Kevin Sullivan and his whack ass master.
No.
Up. And
what? In the Flamin' Cheetos red tracksuit?
No.
It's so good.
No. Macho
so
Man is
great.
getting my best dressed with his white and red.
He's always
he's always going to get it from me,
He's
basically.
amazing. The only thing that ever beat him was Arn Anderson in that Nike
Tracksuit.
Nike windbreaker tracksuit. That's the only thing. Besides that, Macho Man.
It's just because Macho Man
Hands
wasn't in
down.
his getup that week, quite frankly.
But he comes out and he says to Flair, thanks, but no thanks. And then starts talking about Kevin Sullivan. He's like, you have to take the head off a snake and he's going to destroy the Taskmaster. Who would have thought a promo involving Kevin Sullivan would be so good?
Oh, it was excellent. No, that was promo of the night for me. I really enjoyed that whole bit.
Oh, and he goes on. He's talking about Hulk Hogan. He's like, constructive criticism, brother. You are a horrible judge of character. You are really, 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 really bad.
Simple.
And he comes out, he's intense, has a few things he says, and it works.
Yep.
It just works. Just like it's a different kind of soda, but it fizzes and bubbles just like the Ric Flair one.
Water is wet. Ric Flair cuts a good promo. Macho cuts a good promo.
Oh, yeah.
Plain
And then
and simple.
Luger comes out after Macho was saying, the Dungeon of Doom is going to have another 3 new members probably, and Lex Luger, Sting, and Jimmy Hart. And Macho Man is like a man possessed, connecting all these dots. You can imagine him in his room with a cork board and a bunch of thumbtacks with pictures of Sting and Kamala and Lex Luger with the red string. I know the pieces fit somewhere, brother. Lex Luger was the second man on the grassy knoll. Luger comes out and says that Macho Man, don't you also have a personal vendetta? I'm up front. I want to be the top dog, the head chili dog, the head chili vendor. I had chili last night. It was delicious. I want to be the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Don't you? Lex Luger was great here.
Oh, yeah.
Besides talking about how he was done playing with, which is great because you should always denounce and tell people you're done playing with kids. He cut a pretty damn good promo. You could feel the intensity. I'm, for a second time, actually pumped for a Lex Luger feud.
Yeah, no, it's great. Also, real quick, he, like we said, this is the third time that he said he's done playing with children. He keeps saying it, but does he mean it? Because he has to keep saying...
He's done.
Is he done?
He's done. lay off. He's been through some shit. Oh, and then...
But no, I really liked his Randy's response to this was, I also want the WC.
Yeah.
Like he admitted to it. He's just, I'm clear and open on this. Yeah, I also have a personal vendetta on this. I also want to be WCW Tag Team Champion.
But he's saying Luger's cheap shotting him and stuff like that.
Right.
There was some dissension at Fall Brawl.
It's the method to which it's achieved.
Oh, it was wonderful. Again, a promo, some of the best stuff on the show. Even though I was talking down about how the promos with Mean Gene can slow down the show, I have to be a hypocrite and say they're the flashlights in this cave of damn dank darkness.
Well, they would be the flashlights if the golden promo shining above all of them wasn't next.
Oh my God.
The golden fucking
my
promo.
Favorite WCW. It's not even a promo, but it's just one of the golden just goose. Everything.
Yeah, this is it.
The Giant running over Hulk Hogan's motorcycle before Fall Brawl. Hogan is outside on his motorcycle, the Black Beauty, which take up from that one. I'll tell you what, brother. Hogan usually doesn't put the word black next to beauty, but when he sees a Harley this amazing, he's just got to go against his own standards, brother.
Exceptions must be made.
So the Giant rolls up and like I said, a gigantic monster truck runs over Hulk Hogan's motorcycle, does a Yui, runs over it again, and then gets out and just carefully, like your grandpa, like leaving from Thanksgiving dinner, backs up over it so gently. And he's like, okay, yeah. And then runs over it again and starts screaming and laughing like me after I had my first orgasm. And Hulk Hogan is just standing there with his head in his hands, pounding on the door. Like, Hulk, he is 6 inches away from you. I have seen you come just beat insurmountable odds. You can't scale a fucking monster truck.
You can't just
to
jump
beat
in
someone
there.
who just tried to do
His
manslaughter.
window's down.
A manslaughter on you and a bunch of children. What the fuck, Terry?
It's ridiculous. I was texting. I was basically live texting this with Peace because I was sitting there watching. I was like, oh my God, it's the Hulk Hogan motorcycle promo. Look at these fans. Look at everything. It's just so silly. And then out of nowhere, they've got this monster truck flying in this shot. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And the Giants just fucking laughter. And I was like, why couldn't they have just done this? Why couldn't they skip the promo at the beginning of the show and just opened with this? This is so much better.
Oh, Giant is whole hard here.
Oh,
he is so fully in. He
Yeah.
is using his whole gigantic ass.
Yeah, this is it. This was perfect. The beginning, I don't know what he was doing, but this is, if they just did this every
It
single
should have
week,
just been this on a loop for an hour.
forever.
Just the Giant running over things with a monster truck
Yeah.
and just laughing and going on about it.
I mean, it's very similar to, and I'm always making modern comparisons, but I think it was last year when you had Braun Strowman just destroying everything, and his fucking every day he'd show up, or every week he'd show up, and something was getting torn down, something was getting destroyed, something was getting flipped
simple
over.
and entertaining.
It's entertaining to see a giant man do giant things, not step out of an ambulance and go, "If my father was alive, I would do this." Like
Hulk Hogan. And then they go back and show us what actually happened at War Games. Giant gets in the cage, throws the referee all the way to fucking Greece.
Dude, I feel
Greece
bad
and
for
back.
him.
Jesus God, man. He has a family. If not, he's got a roommate. Fuck. And then comes in and does the horrible neck vice to Hulk Hogan and does the sick neck twist breaker like that the Fiend has been using.
that
my
doesn't
God.
look good. In
You know
wrestling.
what? Like when, not to bring it back to current day, when the Fiend does it, it actually fits his character. When the Giant does it, it's like, man, if you're that big and you do that, you should kill somebody.
Yeah, well, I think that's my
Hulk
problem.
Hogan should not be walking and breathing after that.
No, they should have written him off TV literally permanently.
The suspension of belief can really only go so.
Right. Well, I guess
I know you're a giant in a monster truck, but if you're going to snap a man's neck, damn it.
maybe that's why it's believable, is because we haven't seen Finn Balor back on TV since.
No, oh my God.
He's allegedly dead.
Allegedly. Please don't. I think he has a family. He definitely maybe has a roommate.
He's definitely got somebody. I'm not saying I want him dead. I'm just saying allegedly the Fiend killed him.
Speaking of future rumor mates or stable mates, not to be the Wikipedia synopsis that gives you some spoilers. Up next, we have Flying Brian Pillman versus Ric Flair. Main event. This match was going great, and then
Just stop.
just the wet fart that ruined the birthday.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was a really good match. Really enjoyable. Nothing.
They are going at it. They are
Yeah.
chopping each other down.
The fucking Ric Flair's chest.
They are just
Woo.
going at it.
Oh,
just
sorry. Woo!
with the intensity. They're talking about how Pillman has more of an edge now,
Mhm.
and he really does. He gets Flair over to the ring post and does his future like loose cannon Brian Pillman laugh before he slams his arm into the ring post. It's going great. I want to see more of this. And then he does an awesome drop kick. Everything just feels so good, and then it's just nothing.
Yeah, it's just ended.
It's just terrible. It is just oh my goodness.
Excuse me. It makes sense because it's Ric Flair. He can put you away at any moment, especially with the figure 4.
Yeah.
But
Pillman's doing thumbs of the eyes. He's really showing off his new intensity as a character.
it feels like a match that wanted to be longer, but was stuck within a time constraint.
Because we needed to get Eric Bischoff talking for another 3 minutes at the end.
Which this is where the whole wet fart really comes in, is they end the match and you're like, okay, well, that's kind of a, it's anticlimactic. That's a letdown,
it was
whatever.
super quick. As soon as he locks in the figure 4, and I get they're putting over the dominance of Ric Flair.
Sure.
But, as soon as he goes down, just Brian starts.
He taps immediately.
And then Flair does another promo saying he's going to kick Arn Anderson's ass. Oh, we need to get a censor out here. Shut up, Eric.
And then we cut to commercial. And then, and we got to think in 1995, the commercial is going to last 180 seconds, 120, 180 seconds. You come back from that commercial and
this is how we're closing the show.
The 3 people talking again, and then you close the show. That's it. Why the fuck do we keep doing this when you could let them wrestle for an extra, 3 minutes?
I have a theory, and that's because Eric Bischoff needed to announce that next week, Disco Inferno will be making his Monday Nitro debut. That was the only reason.
Yeah.
That was the only information I got out of that promo at the end.
Yeah.
The only thing worth taking away.
Well, you know me, that doesn't sell me on anything.
The one good brick in the sack.
Yeah. I actually, in my notes here, I wrote, stupid, 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 stupid. I just hated this. I'm so sick of ending on people talking.
You sound like my grandpa talking about Slayer. Stupid, stupid, stupid. It's stupid.
They're just yelling.
They're just a bunch of noise. Kerry King, there's only one true king, and that's Jesus. No, there's another king, and it's Disco Inferno. Oh, so would you watch? I know you have to. Would you watch that? The answer to the end. We're doing this now. The whole thing we do at the end of the podcast. Would you watch next week? Would you watch next week?
If not forced by podcasting obligations, I would tentatively watch it, but they're on thin ice after this fucking
They better
shtick.
bring the heat.
Because I remember you said last week that after last week's showing, they were on thin ice already. And if this week wasn't good, you would have stopped watching. Is that still the case?
I would not have sat for the whole hour. I probably would have flip-flopped between that and in Raw, or it just had it on while I was doing something in the background. It would not have my full attention. No. I would not be like, this is must-see TV.
No, I actually completely agreed with you. I may have texted you during this because it's not in my notes, but I don't think I would have made it through this full episode.
I wouldn't have cleared my schedule.
No.
If I had to wash my whites that night, my socks and my undies, it would have taken I would have taken President over watching Nitro next week. I would not be enthused, except for Disco Inferno. I would have left it on and watched some of it just to see Disco Inferno. Besides that, there's nothing that really wants me to come back.
Yeah.
I am kind of hyped. They have some good stuff here. It's just, you're giving me too much like chicken shit, not enough chickpea salad.
Sure. If I were to look forward to next week, and if I thought I was going to be seeing Brian Pillman again, if I thought maybe I could catch a U.S. title match with Sting, if maybe we're going to get Booker T and Stevie Ray. Yeah, Booker T doing anything, or
Booker T eats green beans out of a can for
fine with me
for 56 minutes.
But
I'm there.
If we were going to get a Harlem Heat fucking rematch, if we were going to, there's a lot of what ifs and a lot of potential that I would want to see from next week. And again, I've not looked ahead. I don't know what's going to happen next week. And I'm going to take a look at all of my list of what ifs of what I would want to see from episode 4. If none of them are there, I'm going to be super fucking disappointed, and that's going to affect how I feel about episode 5 preemptively, just knowing WCW doesn't offer what I'm looking for.
3's trash, and if 4 is going to be trash, what?
Why would 5 not also be trash?
And see, it's not being, it's just the consistency. It's like,
what if at the end of the 6 years we realize wrestling's not good? That's the consensus.
I'm just done.
That's it.
Mike called me and he's like, we're gonna be 35 by the time we finish this, and I was like, God damn, that's a big chunk of my life. This is just a big deal. I hope you guys stay with us and just,
if we just did this back in 1995, we wouldn't have to fucking do it now.
They didn't have podcasts.
No, they didn't have podcasts. I don't even know if I had cable.
We would have had to hijack a radio station and just go in there and be like, the neckbeards, it's come full circle. We would have been the neckbeards of WCW.
That's a lot of responsibility for 5-year-olds.
Tatanka sucks. And Brian Pillman is the best. And those two things do ring true.
I love the Dungeon of Doom.
Oh my God.
That's so wacky.
I tell you what, Dungeon of Doom really is the Howard Stern whack pack of wrestling. I'm waiting for Hank the drunk angry dwarf to come out.
Oh man.
And it's messed up because, as many of you might know, we do get some of the whack pack on WCW Nitro in the future.
Yep.
We never got Beetlejuice versus Jared in a match. Or maybe we did. I think I blotted out a lot of that of later WCW out of my mind, except for the Booker T stuff.
Well, of course not. No, Booker T's great.
But oh my God. So that's it really for this week. I hope you want to spend the next 6 years of your lives with us every Monday morning. I sure don't after this episode. Think about what a steady decline this was.
Oh, yeah.
Just a nosedive. I know you...
For me, it was a weird thing because it was like not good, then really good. And then it was like...
Yeah, I know you really liked the last episode, but to me, it's like, okay, we're doing great. And then the second episode, it's like, okay, what's going on here? This is a lot of rehash. And then we get to here, it's like, man... 3 episodes in.
Yeah.
The shark's already out of the water. Damn.
Literally, he was on fucking,
yeah, he's laying on Scott Norton's legs.
Scott Norton last week. Oh man. Well, you know what? I think that's going to be it for this podcast. We're 42 minutes deep here. So
for this episode, the podcast is not over.
No.
We've got, like I said again, you have 6 more nitro-filled years with us.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And wait till it goes to 3
if the bullets don't go through our brains by season 2.
I'm gonna have to get a Kevlar mouthpiece.
All right. And on that note, I think we're going to play ourselves out of here. Once again, peace, everyone. Mike Ogden, thank you so much for being here. We love you. Goodbye.